So for gear upgrades, let's talk about upgrading gear because this is a big thing that you need to be doing in game. There are quite a few strategies towards upgrading gear, such as being able to level up gear with your 3 grades of gear: green, blue, and purple. Simply put, you're able to use enhancing stones, as we're going to call them, the growth stones. Blue goes with blue, the green growth stones go with green gear, and the purple ones go with purple. Green being the least expensive, blue being mid-tier expensive, and purples being the most expensive. You'll use these in order to enhance gear. You'll take this, have the amount, click on this, and be able to upgrade it from there. Another way of doing it is being able to transfer power levels into another piece of gear. Now you can, if you get a different piece of gear, such as green, blue, or purple, you can transfer that power level into a new piece you want to transfer to. It just costs you in-game currency. But you can also take lower tiers of gear and transfer those power levels into gear. Now, since I don't have an example to be able to give you, I'm not going to be able to show you, but this purple robe, I would be able to put a blue piece of gear that's leveled up, a chest piece specifically that is leveled up, and transfer that power level into it. So it's a great way of upgrading or transferring that power level into that. The way that you're going to get some of these growth stones that you need for upgrading your gear is going to be through doing a lot of in-game events, questing, and things of that nature. But eventually you're going to fall back onto needing materials in order to craft them. In order to craft these materials that you need, you'll be able to go to vendors in a variety of towns. I am in a town here where I can upgrade all the way up to purple, and this is in Stoneguard. If you go up to, let's say, the armor vendor, you'll notice that there are a variety of materials that you can craft. And again, to create green, you'll need base level materials. To create a blue grade of material, you'll need a green. To create a purple, you'll need a blue. If we go down to the growth stones, you'll notice that there are certain materials needed for crafting these materials that you need. Precious Stalin being one of the ones that I need. How do you get these? You can get these through a variety of in-game events to unlock chests that you can use to get materials for. Let me just go to my storage and show you guys what those look like. So chests like these where you'll need precious materials or blue materials or again, green grade materials. You'll notice on the list here, there is a wide selection of materials that I can choose from this on an individual basis. One box open will equal one of these materials that I need of my choosing. When you go over to a vendor, if you're missing materials, it'll automatically allow you to fill those materials missing through the use of these chests. They're very, very handy. You can get these through a wide variety of exploration things, quests, and other various tasks to do in game. I found one thing that also really helps is going through open world dungeons and things of that nature where materials needed for crafting these things are essential. One of the daily things that is very good to rotate are actually contracts. Let's move over here and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So much as like what I showed you guys earlier with being able to craft upgraded materials such as green to blue, blue to purple, and the variety of those materials needed, you can do contracts where you can get some of these materials that you need, such as polished crystal stones, Stalin ore, as I mentioned, that I'm currently working towards. And all of these stones and these different variety of materials can be used towards crafting those growth stones, those enhancing stones that you're going to need in order to further upgrade your gear. So let's go back to the vendor and see what I need. And I'll show you an example of something that I'm doing in order to progress some of my gear. So right now I am currently working on an armor piece. I'm just trying to wrap up max level on one of my purple armor pieces here. Very basic gear right now. I'm not sitting around too high of a gear score at the moment. However, in order to craft some more of my growth stones, I'm going to need some more precious Stalin ore. Well, I'm going to need some of the rare Stalin ore so I can do more contracts to get some of these materials to craft this higher grade ore of material and then be able to make those enhancing stones. Another thing that you can also do, if you have a wide variety of lower grade growth stones, you can also craft higher grade through the consumption of those lower grade. So again, you can use green to craft blue, and you can use blues to craft purples. You can do this for armor, weapons, and accessories. So some of these things will be very important to focus on in order to help progress. So in the early game, I do recommend just almost stockpiling on stuff if you're confused on what certain things are. Don't get rid of things until you're at a stage in the game where you're starting to do that gear progression, because then you can simply just talk to a vendor and go, oh, okay, hey, I need these materials. Here, for example, I'll make some growth stones. Let's go ahead and make some growth stones since I need rare Stalin ore for crafting these. Or again, I can work on making higher grade stones to be able to make the precious ones. So you'll notice that I can craft 4 of these to make some more of these, or I can make some of these. Let's go ahead and do this route, for example. So I can make 21 of these. I'll go ahead and do this. I've successfully crafted 21. And now because of that, I can craft 4 more of my precious growth stones. Crafting this is going to cost, again, the in-game currency, Solent. There's always a currency to craft a lot of these. And then once again, we go over to enhancing these materials. So now I'm just 5 away from being able to do another click into this piece of gear. And these are also the same things that you can do with also upgrading your skills. Your skills also are going to attribute to upgrading your power level. And you can do the same thing, very, very similar to upgrading your skills as well. Green books you can use to upgrade into blue books. Blue books you can use to upgrade into purple books. And once again, you'll need a material called parchments to be able to craft more of these books. And once again, as I've also mentioned earlier, if we go back to a contract dealer, since there are parchments and a variety of different stones that you are going to need, again, doing open world dungeons and raid content and things of that nature in contracts, you'll notice that all of these things are obtainable through contracts that you can do. So since I need Stalin, we can accept this. Let's go ahead and refresh this page. Let's see if we can go ahead and find some parchments. I still need more polished crystals. So let's go ahead and refresh that. Still need more Stalin for the things that I'm working on at the moment. And then boom, here are some parchments. And I can use these parchments to craft blue books. Those blue books I can use to upgrade into purple once I start working on my purple skills. Now I've got 5 out of 5 contracts. It's as simple as going around the world, completing these tasks, as I'm sure some of you, if not majority of you, are aware. But if not, these are things that you're going to be doing in order to continue to progress into crafting these materials, using them to upgrade your armor, your skills, and things of that nature. You'll notice that in these co-op dungeons, there's a variety of materials that you can get towards crafting these materials you need for upgrades, as well as being able to even grind not only in the open world dungeons, as well as the open world. I would recommend obviously in the level 50 areas. You can even get a variety of these materials that you need for upgrades, even through contract coin merchants, where you can go ahead and get a variety of different materials that you may need. You'll notice there's parchments, the ores that you need for the upgrades that you can craft on a variety of different tiers and levels. Merchants are a fantastic way of being able to check materials that you additionally may need. I can't show you the guild merchant shop right now just because I'm in the process of transferring. And then another good one too is also completing your lithograph. Lithograph turn-ins will also have additional materials that you can use once again for those materials that you're going to need for those growth stones. But be careful of turning these in, because sometimes you may not want to turn these in for materials necessarily right away. There is a wide variety of things you can do for these material turn-ins to get and obtain these materials needed for these growth stones to upgrade your account, power level, gear, etc. So we have merchants, we have lithographs, raids and dungeons, we have open world dungeons, we have doing the main quest line, we have completing side activities, we have completing a wide variety of different things. Everything that you continue to do in this game will continue to serve a purpose. And even buying equipment from the equipment merchant, as I've done with all of this equipment here, you'll notice that turning these things into your lithograph will yield you these materials that you can obtain from them. Little basic, but more good things to stay on top of. Opening your escape menu, going to the codex, or hitting J as well. And the exploration codex also has a wide variety of additional rewards that you can use towards character progression as well. Things like books, crafting materials, and even trade extraction stones. Even upwards of some gear that you can obtain too. Going to world bosses as well will yield materials, so participation rewards are super important. Another way of also getting other materials needed for crafting is also running contracts that you can obtain. You can get bags that'll give you materials needed, as well as crafting materials as well. Your contracts you can obtain from the Sundries merchant. You can get them from here. When you roll them, some of them will be randomized, and once you've obtained them, you'll be able to activate them in your inventory, where you can complete these once again for those additional materials. And also another good one to stay on top of with the contract coin merchant is these mystic keys, which can be sold daily up to 5. You obtain these keys and you'll be able to open additional orbs and treasures that you can find throughout the land that once again will award you with those materials that you need and can use. So you may notice along your travels, you'll run into these red orbs in the world. These are what you use your mystic keys in order to open. You can open these, and every now and again, you can get some materials out of these that you can use for crafting. But more importantly, a mystic portal has the chance of spawning. As we open the map, you'll notice there's a mystic portal that has spawned near me, and it has a 1 hour cooldown before it disappears. If we make our way over to this portal, there's also an opportunity to get tons of extra materials. Now, I got lucky with this example. I actually didn't expect this to happen, but since it did, this would be a great example to show you guys the additional things that you can obtain. And as we're running around this area, we're trying to find this portal in the area. It's supposed to be a much bigger version of these, but if you find any more of these, feel free to collect them, gather more materials, but we are looking for, oh, look at that. Another one has opened up. So now we're looking for 2. So you're going to be looking for a giant red orb, just like this. As soon as you find it, you can interact with it, and you're going to notice as a reward, you get some extra bonus materials. Now, if you excuse me, I'm still going to find this one over here. Now, my friends are telling me that these are typically hidden up in higher peaked areas, and this one was just under my nose. It's actually on top of this peak up here, so we can just see it in the distance. Let's head over and get it. We go ahead and grab this. And I got a platinum fishing rod. Damn, that's huge. But hopefully this simple progressional talk is going to be helpful to you guys in further progressing your overall gear, your overall power score, and your overall experience.